My name is David Roldán Martínez. I'm associate researcher at VRAIN-UPV, which is a research institute focused on artificial intelligence at the Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. In addition to that, I'm head of business solution for IBERIA and LATAM and apinity, which is a company focused on helping our customers to embrace the API economy. So, well, in addition to that, I'm also technical writer. I have more than 40 books on my average. And okay, and today we are going to talk about how to use AI in API-based integration. Of course, if during my presentation, someone of you has any doubt or any question or want to point anything, just you can interrupt me and ask. Really, no problem at all. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today? The aim of this talk is to explain you how AI agents, multimodal AI agents, can be used in API-based integrations. So that what we are going to do here is first to clearly state some basic concepts so that all of us will be on the same page. Then I will make a quick journey on which are the traditional challenges that you have to face when designing or when putting in place an API integration, which is an integration between two systems by focus or using APIs. And then we will see the benefits of the challenges and the challenges of using API and APIs and autonomous AI agents in this kind of integrations. Then let's go with the basic concepts. Okay, what's an API? An API, in essence, is a contract between a provider and a consumer, standardized in three points, or merely 3 points: the operations that are under the scope of the contract, the data model, that is, the data you need to execute those operations, and the data you are getting as a result of executing the operations of the contract, and also how can you manage the errors that unfortunately in any system we can find. Note that an API what does is to characterize a system or the system whose operations you are exposing, so that if you know the API, the contract, you are able to clearly know the behavior of that system, so that you can link different systems between each other using their APIs, so that you can create a digital ecosystem. If we take this concept to the API economy, which is how to make money using APIs, you will see that APIs has 3 points of view, or that you can see an API from 3 different points of view. The API as a channel, we are communicating to systems between them. So here in the API, we have a channel. The API as a technology, if you read about enterprise architecture, solutions architecture, you will notice that an API is an integration technology. We also can integrate systems using point-to-point integration, but it's not recommended. We will see why later in this talk. But also your API can be your product, so that you can monetize your API. Which means why? Because you are offering a way to create those types of innovative system I mentioned before. So considering this, and if we make a track of the last a track and a forecast of the last 4 years, we will see that the API has been playing a fundamental role in open economy. Why? Because API, as I mentioned, characterize your system. So you can offer new services building them on top of many APIs. For example, this is clearly possible to build with artificial intelligence. All of you know what AI is and how is moving the market. One of the consequences of the rise of AI, focus on API, is that they are causing what it is called API explosion. Why? Because AI is not coming on their own. AI needs data to do their job, right? So, and where are data? Data are spread across all your digital universe. So you need a way to take the data and integrate them in your AI system, and that means that integration vehicle are APIs. So APIs, it provides you a central point of consumption and exposure of data. So that's why if AI increases, if AI use increases, also API will do. And I mentioned in a previous slide, APIs are also an integration technology. AI has been putting into the table the pivotal role that integration architectures and integration technologies plays in the AI economy. Why? Because of the same topic I mentioned. AI needs data that are scattered over all the universe. So you need a mean of integrate those data into your architecture, into your AI applications. Okay, but and now what's API lifecycle? Why I'm talking about API lifecycle here? Because depending on the stage of the life cycle of your APIs, the impact of AI will be more important or not. A life cycle means that your IT asset, in this case, your APIs, will go through a reduced set of stages. If a stage involves different type of tasks and different types of tools to accomplish those tasks. It's not the same. For example, the strategy part, when you are defining why you need an API, for what you also are building that API, is not the same that when you are dealing with security, for example. Right? That's why we use the concept of life cycle. It's to make how you are managing your IT assets, APIs in that case, in a simple way. This approach, it's very similar to layering. We in IT world tend to design everything in layers, to divide in layers. Why? Because the complexity of dealing with separate layers is much less than dealing with the whole system as a whole. Next point, what autonomous agents are. An AI agent, it's a software that can make some processing, some tasks on themselves without human intervention or with a nearly human or nearly without human intervention. Why we add multimodal? Because now we are in the multimedia era. So an agent has evolved to be able to support not only text, but also images, but also videos, but also speech. So we are shifting to a technical world when you will be able even to talk with your system to tell them, hey, integrate you and you should to be integrated. That's a reality. At the end of my talk, I will show you a demo powered by API DNA. Thanks very much for them for the support when building this presentation, by the way. Well, next point. What API-based integration are? Okay, an API-based integration, as its name states, is an integration problem that is fixed by using APIs. What this means? That, for example, imagine that we have one system here, one system here. What we have to do is to apify this system and apify this other system. Apifying a system means to define an API layer that exposes all the services this system is offering. And remember what this does, simply put, is to define the operation supported, the data model you need to support those operations, both in input and output, and also how are you going to manage your handling error strategy, right? That means apifying a system. So we can integrate, once we have two systems apify, we can integrate them very simply, quite easily, just putting something in the middle that understands one API, understands the other API. I make some kind of translation between protocols, data formats, and so on. We are going to deep dive into these aspects now here when seeing which are the main challenges of an API integration. The first challenge is related with data formats. You know, this API and these APIs probably are using different data formats, so you need to make some kind of translation. Traditionally, this translation have been done manually by defining a map, the mapping rules from one format to another format. Now with AI agents, an AI software, it's able to discover, after some training, of course, to discover and to adapt that kind of transformations. The other challenge is reminding both systems don't necessarily to have the same performance. You can have one system that performs much better than the other. The performance or the throughput, it can be higher in one system than the other. So we cannot work with the, I would say, the slower system the same speed than the faster system, because if we do that, the slower system will collapse. So we have to adapt or to limit the rates in the integration. What happens with the error handling? Okay, if you rely on HTTP status code, which is something that is standard, the error handling strategy can be very simple to understand and then to implement. But what happens if this is not the case? So we also have a challenge here. We have to make a balance between how those two, or not two, how the systems under integration are behaving. Okay, another key topic is what happens with versioning. What happens if I introduce a change in one of the APIs that I'm integrating, or in on one of the systems under integration? No, it depends. Of course, it depends if the change is a breaking change or it's a very simple change. So it's very important to be aware about that and have a strategy to deal with the versioning. So why to use multimodal AI agents in API-based integrations? To fix all the challenges. The answer is quite clear. To fix all the challenges we have done in an automated way. You know, AI is able to make to face all the challenges we mentioned in the latter section automatically. enhances automation, which means that you can do, you cannot do, you don't need to do anything. You know, it's the AI who is going to take care of transformations of rate limit and so on. It also allows you to make an analysis of how things are going on in your integrations in relation with data mapping, or also to infer the types of the data, the different data models in the systems involved in the integration. So that at the end of the road, the efficiency and adaptability of your integrated system, it's much better than it would have done with a manual or a traditional integration scheme. So which are the benefits? The benefits is that your efficiency improves. Also, you can make a further and a better approach to data that increases your flexibility and also your adaptability. And as a consequence of the automation and also the better approach to the integration, costs and errors are reduced. But we still have to face with some challenges. Security, quality. Quality is very important. As you know, AI is the quality of the results of your AI thing depends on the quality of the data you are using or you are feeding up your AI thing, right? If your data are not good because you have duplicate data, because you know the quality, the data are not curated, the results you will get as a result of processing that with AI, we also have the same problems or even amplify those problems. Also, there is a lack of standardization and interpretability. At this point, as far as I know, there is no standard on multimodal agents to be applied on integrations. And also, we also have the famous ethical consideration of AI, you know, the bias. Okay, but what happens in real life? So that's I want to share with you. Okay, I want to share with you a short video. It's about a minute that will show you how AI agents in API integrations will work in real. Let me share the screen. Okay, the other screen is this one. This one. Can you hear the video?
No, David, we cannot hear you. The video
Now?
No.
No? If I share the video, it's not shared with the audio?
Yeah, you can share your video with audio. It will be fine.
Okay. Okay, let me try if I know how to do that. Okay, compartir. Vale, es this one. Okay.
David, can you share that link in the chat box? It will be helpful us to reach. In the chat box, you can share that URL link.
Sorry?
You can share that URL link in the chat box. It will be helpful us to reach.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
We cannot hear your voice.
No?
Yeah.
But I'm sharing with audio.
In the chat box, you can share.
Okay. Here you have. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have received.
Okay. Then
Delegates, please, everyone go through that link and you can see the details.
Sorry?
I'm asking the delegates to go through the link you have provided in the chat box.
Okay. Okay, I will keep with playing the video and then make some reflection about that. The aim of the video, if you don't want to watch them now, is that after the playing and blah blah blah, it will show you how to integrate two systems using a ChatGPT based assistant.
At API DNA, we're connecting software companies to connect the world. Our no-code multiple autonomous AI agent platform instantly removes the complexity from the API endpoint integration process. Start by logging into your API DNA account. Once in the platform, users can start their integration by text or voice-to-text interaction with our agents. In this case, voice-to-text instructions. Add new endpoint. Then user presses the send button. Our integration agent prompts the user to enter the service provider endpoint URL they wish to integrate. It's as simple as copying and pasting the endpoint URL from the service provider's website or uploading the developer documentation. Once more, the user provides voice-to-text instructions for selecting the API method for integration. Post. The agent will then validate the endpoint URL's accuracy by performing a real-time connectivity test with the service provider. After a successful connectivity test, the user is prompted to upload API documentation in natural language processing by copying and pasting from the service provider's website, uploading from preloaded API collections such as Postman or OpenAPI, or by providing other documentation formats like PDF, Word, or TXT. Next, the user presses the send button to submit the API documentation and confirms the start of the integration process. Once the AI agents have analyzed the documentation, the integration process is triggered to begin. After the API integration is completed, the user is prompted to add the API endpoint to their API DNA account. Once the endpoint is successfully added, the user can instantly connect and call the service provider. At API DNA, we're connecting software companies to connect the world.
Okay, let me back to the presentation. This is... Okay, so if you see the presentation, it's quite you can even talk with your APIs. You know, that's why agents are multimodal. So just to finish and to conclude some trends that, of course, this is an emerging in technology, although, for example, the API DNA agents can be used in real. Indeed, it is. And then to remark some conclusions that let me say that multimodal AI agents, as you have seen, has the potential to create a revolution, a real revolution in API-based integration, as it offers some key benefits like data analysis, cost savings, efficiency, you know, that kind of things. But despite challenges, we still have some promising future on the plate. And yeah, that's all.